Cool. So it's really common as a beginner, for example, that when someone passes your guard, I call this closing the car park, because their body is like a car. This is where they want to park it. They want me flat. They want a nice car park here. They want this side open. So as you pass, beginners will learn to do this. This closes the car park and keeps them on the outside. But what will happen is people will pass, and especially when you're framing out here and then you change, is that you've changed the side of your body that needs to close the car park, right? So I'm bringing the bottom of my body under me in a way, and my top side is going to be doing the car park closing like this. Yeah, right? Not that different than when we were here and we kicked and then we came up and did that. I'm basically doing that on the ground. So I'm here and I'm closing the car park on this side. Yeah, like we're doing, controlling that hand preferably, or the wrist, or even if it's late, maybe it's no-gi and the person's trying to grab your head, then I might be like this. And I've closed the car park there, right? And I'm in a better position to be able to move from here, yeah, to either recover my guard or run away or stand up than I am if I get flattened, right? So the person ultimately would love me like this. So what's the opposite of that? Or being closed. But then this is too vulnerable. So I need to have some connection and contact with the ground, preferably both feet if I can. So there's a nice little drill that we do. You'll learn to hip out, and then you'll hip out, and then you change, right? So your feet stay in contact with the floor, they swap sides, knee and elbow together, hand down, come up to your butt, do the same thing again, a little hip out, switch your feet up, collapse on your butt, okay, and roll across. I'm always trying to have both of my feet touching the floor all the time. Yeah, because if I have one foot up, that's a point that he can easily push on to put me flat again. So I want to have toes touching the ground as much as possible, because then I've got active feet. So rather than taking a step and going there, so you'll first see it when you start doing hip outs. So that's why I'm so fussy about the way that we hip out, is that if I'm here, right, and when I'm moving, like that, I lift this foot off the ground, or if you're trying to recover side control, for example, so I'm here, the person's on this side, I'm trying to bridge into them here like that, to be able to put my foot in. If, for any reason, during the hip out, you lift this foot off the ground, here like that, then people are just going to lean on your shoulder and you end up just going flat. Especially if this foot's in line with my shoulder, like that. I've got no way to go push this way. When my foot's in line with my hip, it's pushing up. Yeah? Whereas I need it to go this way. So my foot has to go outside my hip. So that way, now I'm opposing the force from the person this way. Then I can move my hips, and then I can move this leg inside, and this leg can do a lot of work. But when I'm moving and defending, most of the time you want your feet on the floor. Yeah? Right? So even when I was doing this drill before, we're here on the shoulder, see my toes are touching the ground all the time. Grabbing here, coming up, go to my hand, open. And I've always, as much as I physically can, when I'm defending, I've got my feet touching the floor. I don't want steps. So I don't want to go hip out. Yeah? I don't want my legs getting long, because now I can't use them. So a good way of knowing how far away your feet should be from your hips is, can you pull yourself back again? So if I'm here, I've done a little hip out, like this, yeah? Can I bring myself back to where I was? If I hip out and make my legs long, I can't pull anymore, my feet are too far away. Yeah, okay? If my legs get long, I have to move my shoulder to shorten the space, and then I can move my hips again. That's why we do reverse hip outs. Yeah, where we go like this, feet, shoulder, hips, feet, shoulder, hips. So learn to move forwards and backwards. So when you're doing hip outs, you shouldn't do that, because now my body's all open. Yeah. So all of these little fundamentals that we do during the warm-up now come into play when you're doing like guard retention stuff or guard recovery drills and stuff like that. Yeah, right? So before we go further, do that little drill, okay? Start off here, yeah? Do your little hip out, withdraw your bottom shoulder. You can put your hand out if you want. When I bring my foot around my bottom foot, or you can bring your bottom foot under, or you can do the two together, like this. Now, I'm just swapping this knee for the other knee. There. Then I can come up, like this. You can collapse on the hip if you want. And now I can do it again. Cool. Let's go. So just do that as a little solo drill.